Hello, 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 hello. I love that you can see all of the cat hairs in the pop filter. I blame my cat for this. Vin loves either rubbing against this thing or absolutely demolishing it, which is why you can see little teeth holes, because she does indeed bite into it every once in a while. But how's everyone doing today? I hope we've woken up, recharged, reset, ready to read, and that we're ready to go for a few hours today. So I started the sprint an hour earlier. My original plan, mind you, was to start at 2 p.m. But I had a little bit of a mishap with electricity because we had a power outage, which set us back with the Patreon watch party, and then things just kind of happened the way that they did because it was raining really, really heavily. Thankfully, it is not raining right now, so the sky is clearing up. It looks like it'll be a chiller sprinting session, which I definitely appreciate. So that's where we're at. How's everyone doing today? I hope we all got some good rest and that we're ready to read. So we're gonna be here probably to like 7, 8 p.m. I don't know. Listen, I have been really loving sprinting with you guys, so we may just sprint for a little extra over the readathon ending time, depending on how things go, especially because I'm going to be investing some of my first sprint into cooking lunch, because you better bet I was a little bit late because I was cutting up some sweet potatoes. I'm still not done with cutting the sweet potatoes, and so I have to go during the first sprint, chop those up, and then season all that up with the broccoli and all the good stuff, and then put that into the oven. And so part of my first sprint will be cooking, which is not that interesting, but we need food. And so there's that. So those are my updates. How's everyone doing? I am still, evidently, by the little banner, reading What the River Knows. I do want to finish it today. We'll see if I am able to do so. I am 130 pages away. No, that's a lie. 160 pages away from finishing this book. So will I be able to? Let's hope that I am. So we'll see in the grand scheme of cooking, eating, and reading how much I'm able to get done. But ideally, in an ideal little world, I would be finishing this book today. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, let a girl know what you guys are going to get up to, what you guys are going to be reading, and how are we all feeling. Again, I hope everybody got some good rest. I slept. I just don't know that I slept all that I wanted to. I also love the little ambulance. I hope everyone's okay. Just driving by. Hope everyone's okay. Anyways, hello, Emmy and Gracie and Alamite and Cassie and Lissy and your frog. That is very fitting given the branding of the stream. And Karis and Rika and Linny. Listen, I'm gonna try and pronounce everybody's names right. I may just get some things wrong. I apologize in advance. But hello, Sarah and Alex. I'm ready. I even took a nap to at least stay for 1 or 2 sprints. Hopefully that'll be the case. Hello, Kristen. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good day as well, Alamite. Hello, Rose. Hello, Jess and Misha. Excited to get into Aqua War. The last book had me on the edge of my seat. Hello, Pedro. Hello, Gab and Emma and Liz and Yomna and Nayeli. How Nani. Hello. I felt all of the jaws click and clack during that hello, but Hello. I can't even smile sometimes, apparently, allegedly. You didn't hear it here first, but sometimes it's a struggle. Uh, hello, Preston. Just got home from a little book bestie date. It's so exciting, and I'm ready to read. Hello, Pedro Squared. Hello, Gemma. Hello, Rita. I am happy to be able to finally join a sprint this weekend. Justo iba a empezar a leer. Love that, Liz. Fell asleep yesterday during the sprint, but today I am reading The Fellowship of the Ring. I hope you really enjoy it. I know that the audiobooks are really good. They are narrated by Andy Serkis himself, the Gollum himself. So that should be fun if you have the audiobooks on deck, or you can get them through the library or elsewhere. The Frog with the Mushroom is everything. I know. It's so cute. It's so wholesome. I'm ready to power read. Hello from Greece. Hello, Kate. I'm so happy that I can finally attend a sprint. Hello, English Breakfast Romantasy. That is a very cute name. So excited. I am never awake usually to join these. Glad that you were able to join today. Hello, Lauren. Happy reading. Hello, Jessica. First time joining a live. I'm reading Fourth Wing. Hoping everyone has a good time. Hello, Fatima. Hope everyone's doing well today. Planning on doing all the work tonight since I obviously did not do a single task at the watch party earlier. Listen, hopefully the work can ensue. New Moon was just a little too distracting, which I think in the grand scheme of like distracting things, it about tracks. It's 9 p.m. here in England. I'll be reading Camp Damascus. I hope it's a good time. Finishing up Shut Up, This Is Serious, hopefully. Hello, Jaden. A bit busy at the moment, so I probably won't start reading till the second sprint. I finished Magnolia Parks 2 this morning, though, and oh my god, that's a very warranted reaction. Was not ready. I don't think anybody ever really is. Also, Vin has joined us today. Clearly, we got a little lady here at the back. I love that she is hearing probably her sister in the living room. Why are you staring at them like that, Vin? Why? Stare at them with love. Where's the love, Babas? She's very clearly falling asleep. She's more over there than over here. I'll be reading Billy Summers by Stephen King. It's my first Stephen King ever. I'm really enjoying it so far. I have 3 books to choose from: Akatar, Answering Liberty's Call, and about an Mount Vernon love story. Annotating the second 2, and I'm reading Akatar before annotating the book in series. Hopefully whatever we end up reading today is a really good time. It's 11 p.m. here in Greece. I'm going to be reading Keeping 13. I'm 45% in and I am loving it. Hello, Sarah. I am going to try and finish Vicious today. Oh, very exciting, which I am loving. And also go shopping for my mom's birthday tomorrow. Happy early birthday to the mom. I hope we find a really good gift. Hello from Dubai. Hello. How is your day, Mel? It's been good so far. I had a really chill start to the morning. Took me a hot second to wake up because I was feeling extra sluggish. I love Vin just looking out the window. Literally look at that. That is, she's very serious in her task of staring at the, aren't there even any birds? Why are you staring at, Bubba's? Oh, I look at the little meow. Are you gonna start making, she's gonna start making biscuits. Look at that. Oh, she is a hard baker at work. Dale, Vin, dale, tú haz tus biscuits. Tú haz tus biscuits, Cortieso. Tus biscuits, tus biscuits. Wow. Wow. Literally look at that. That is the face of a cat who just wants sleep. Okay, there we go. She's settling in. What was I saying? Yeah, chill start to the morning. Took me a hot second to feel awake. Had some medicine tea in the morning. I actually need to go downstairs to fetch my medication. I just realized, I was like, no wonder I feel so congested. It's because I haven't had any meds today aside from the medicine tea. So I need to go downstairs to fetch that so I can properly have the medication. Then I had a coffee because it was very much needed. Had breakfast. It was delicious. Watched New Moon with the patrons, and that's been the day so far. And then right before sprints, I did some chores because there were definitely things to clean up and organize. Because let me tell you something about readathon weekend. Everything gets quite messy because I just grab things and then I just throw them back and then I don't organize. And so I picked up after myself in between live streams, and now everything's tidy and ready to go, which makes me in turn very happy. I'm currently reading Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, also Pride and Prejudice. I love that array. It's a very good one. I have 5 books I need to finish before the end of the month. Right there with you. Halfway through one, so hoping I can get it done and start on another one. Right there with you, like literally to a T. Same exact sentiment. Also hope I managed to do some reading or at least pick a book I like, because I keep on DNFing books left and right lately and I'm so sad about it. Wait, did we DNF King of Pride? Did we finish it? I got questions. Last I heard, King of Pride was kind of a vibe. Loving the frog with the mushroom hat. It's everything. It's the cutest thing ever. I love it. Still reading The Final Empire. I really want to trust Ellen. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I hope you're enjoying What the River Knows. I loved it. I really am enjoying it. I think it's stealing my heart. Well, not slowly but surely. It did so very quickly. But I am really loving it, and I can't wait to see how it goes along. I think my only complaint with this book so far is like the magic system. I wish we would be, I guess, like hearing a bit more in depth about how it works, because I feel like so far it's very surface level, and it's kind of like confusing sometimes, because at first I thought that what Inez is able to do, I thought it was a her thing and not an everybody thing, but then it seems like everybody's kind of able to do the exact same thing. Listen, it's a little bit confusing on the magic system end, but I think everything else is really working for me, and I can't wait to see how it keeps progressing on like the actual plot line, because I want to see more. I want to see what's up. I want to see what's gonna happen, and so hopefully we get to find out together during sprint. Well, I'll find out. You'll see the reaction. I'm currently reading Lakewood by Megan Giddings. I've heard really great things about that book. Hello, Chicken. Hello, Corey. I will be reading fanfic since I don't have a book with me right now. That's totally fair. Reading Divine Rivals and hoping to finish it during these sprints. Hello, Beverly. I'm about to start Happy Place. That's the life of having animals, especially if they're house pets. Listen, it's definitely the thing. All of my clothes are full of cat hair. All of the equipment is full of cat hair. It's just the crux I bear, and I'm totally okay with it. Hello, Shannon. Excited to make the sprint. I need help on what to read. I've got This Song Rising, Cersei, or Ninth House to pick from. Ooh, I've only read Cersei and Ninth House from this pool, so I'll say Cersei, because I definitely think I enjoyed Cersei a little bit more than Ninth House after my Ninth House reread, but I think Cersei or Ninth House are good options, either or. Didn't last as long as I was hoping last night, barely finished the second sprint, so definitely looking forward to reading more this afternoon, continuing with The Way of Kings. Between the watch party and the start of this, I folded some clothes, began tidying up my space, and crossing things off my to-do list. Exactly what I did. Literally to a T. I love it so much. Well, except for the laundry folding, because I didn't have to do that. But the chores and the to-do list, very much there with you. This just jumped, and I don't know where I was. Hello, Agnes. I'm late. It took longer than expected to get my library books and ice cream cupcake. I hope the ice cream cupcake is delicious, and I hope the library holds end up being amazing books. So happy to be able to join sprints today. I'm going to be working a bit on some exam prep, and then hopefully I will get to Magnolia Parks. I'm only 10 pages in, but I am excited. Very happy to hear that. I've been in the worst reading slump ever, but I'm getting over it. I started reading Bride last night. I'm 50% in, and I can't put it down. I know. Honestly, Ali Hazelwood, the woman she is, her books are amazing. I cannot wait till Not in Love. I'm very excited about it, and I saw that she had already, like, I don't know if it was like a soft announcement or if this was like announced a while ago and I just missed it. She's got like another book coming, well, not this year, but next year in February. She's already announced the title and the premise of the book. It's called Wet, and it's about a swimmer. I had no idea this book existed. I didn't know what she was gonna do after Not in Love, and so found that out a few days ago, and I'm like, Miss Ma'am, we already have a synopsis and everything for this next one. What do you mean? And so I'm very excited about that, because Ali Hazelwood has my entire heart, all of it. Every single bit of it, because her romance books are my favorites. So I will read everything she writes now. It's my first time here. Somebody else is reading Bride. That's very exciting for a sprint. Hello, Maddie. Also just got back from the grocery store an hour ago. Stopped at the bookstore while I was out. And they confused the crap out of me by moving their sci-fi, fantasy, and YA sections. I hate when that happens. There's one bookstore here in Panama that always does it, but it's because they switch it, or like specifically the English section. They just move it around depending on whether or not they've got stock. And so unless it's front and center, you know they don't have anything. And so every time I go, I'm like, where is it? Sometimes it's like smack down the middle as you enter. Sometimes it's right by the register. Sometimes it's on like one of the left-hand shelves when you're like in the center of the main area. And then other times you need to go to like the table book area, and then you go all the way to the back to the left. It's so weird. Every time I go, I have to ask, because I never really know where it is, because it's always changing. So it's always a mess. I am starting 5 Broken Blades. The amount of POVs changing, ooh, is intimidating, but I'm intrigued. Wait, how many POVs does it have? Just hit 500 pages in the stand. That is a chunker. That is a long one, but hopefully you're enjoying it. Oh, Vin is grumpy. Vin is stealing our soul smell. It's fine. Listen, she has to feed somehow. I would die for your cat. You know what? I'm sure she'd appreciate it. I am sure that's exactly what she'd like to hear. ¿Cómo estás, Mel? I'm doing very good. ¿Cómo estás tú? I'll be reading Lotería by Carla Arenas Valenti. Hello, Julieta. I'm going to be reading Persuasion. Saludos desde Argentina. Hola, hola. I'll be trying to finish Love and Other Words. Hi, Florida. I needed this today. Last few pages of How to End a Love Story. I've been hearing so many things about that book, and the actual cover is stunning. So I feel like I need to check out How to End a Love Story because I've been hearing amazing things. I gave up the book I was reading yesterday, so we'll be starting before we say goodbye, and maybe Solo Leveling Volume 2. I need to get myself Solo Leveling Volume 2 because for some reason my library doesn't have any manhwas, at least based on what I've been looking up, and so kind of difficult to get them through my library. But I need to get myself Solo Leveling Volume 2 because I read the first one, I really enjoyed it, but it's really just a prologue. Like, it's so like little, like minuscule, it's such a minuscule part of the story that I feel like where it really starts is Volume 2, so I need to get a hold of that for sure. I am still reading Throttled, and if I can finish it today, I will be very, very happy. I fell asleep last night, so here's hoping for some good reading this fine Saturday. Vin has grown so much, right? Like, she's a baby, but like, she's a huge baby now. She's honestly the cutest little thing. Look at her. Just her blanket, and her armchair against the world. Like, how dare I ever think of I was gonna say sleep in there. I don't sleep in that chair, but sit on that chair. It's hers. Same as this one. Every chair in this office for that fact is hers because I think she sits in these more than I do, and that's saying something because I sit in here a lot. My cat often stares at the walls, and I'm always scared. What is he seeing? I mean, my cats don't stare at walls, but they will stare at the birds on the windows. So as to what your cat is staring at the walls, something, I'm sure it's probably like air particles, but it definitely can be terrifying, not gonna lie. I barely finished King of Pride. I was dragging my feet through the last 100 pages. Don't know what's wrong with my brain getting over books in a day when we all know I can't manage to read a book a day. Not wet, sure, is a choice. Listen, it's wet with a H, so it's like W-H-E-T. I thought it was the second book in the Bride series, and I was like, Bride, what? Maybe. But then I found out it was about a swimmer, and I was like, okay, makes sense, but still I'm questioning the title. But I'm sure it'll be catchy because it's a one-word title. But what was I gonna say? A King of Pride. Listen, I've been there where I'm like really enjoying a book, and then I put it down for a day or two. I look back and I'm like, wait, I was enjoying that? It's happened before, so I can't blame you because been there, done that for realsies. Thank God I didn't miss anything. Just got back from seeing my parents for the first time in 2 months. I'm on chapter 11 of Written in the Stars and loving it. I finished If I Never Met You, so now I'm starting The Darkest Season. Switching between romances and thrillers is everything. I made the executive decision to DNF Babel today. I hated it. Oof, listen, it's definitely a very polarizing book. Feel like there's people who loved it, myself included, and then people who are like, I hated it. It was so dense and it was so bad. So I think it depends on the person, but I definitely think the audiobook helps a ton because the audiobook was really, really good, but it's totally fair if you didn't enjoy it because it's definitely a dense book. Also excited to start The Wicked King, reading A Torch Against the Night. I'm in a bit of a reading slump, not because the book is bad, but just because I want to watch anime instead. That's totally fair too. Maybe you can pop a little bit of anime. You would probably have to put in like the sub version, not the sub version, the dubbed version, and you can read at the same time. I know some people are able to do that. I myself cannot because I'd get distracted and watch the anime instead, but maybe something to satisfy both urges. Reading Twisted Games right now, just DNF's finale. No, I just can't do it anymore. Don't say that. I still have to read finale, and I'm super scared to do so because what's the name of the third? Oh, look at that. Look at the stretch. Oh, my baby. I'm in love with my cat. Anyways, A Curse for True Love. I really, really disliked it. And so I'm scared to read finale now because I hope it's a better wrap up than A Curse for True Love. Because that one was not it. Clearly, I don't even own it. So I just have the first 2 books. I want A Curse for True Love because it's obviously pretty. And it's probably the best cover out of all of them. But that third book was not it, so I'm hoping that finale hits the right spot. Hello, Morgan. I went to get to 50% of The Wicked King, but Maxton Hall has me in a chokehold right now. I'd say you can finish Maxton Hall and then read, but Maybe that's just me being a bad influence. So glad I caught your live again. So happy to see you. ¿Qué tal tu día? Mi día va muy bien, gracias. Un poco cansada, pero aquí estamos. I finished Wild Love last night, and I agree 100% with everything you said. I almost DNF'd it, but I'm glad I kept going. Yeah, it was certainly a ride. I didn't love it, so I'm hoping the next one is redemption time, because Hopeless and Wild Love were not it. But I will now read Flawless, because I ordered it and it should get here next week, and I don't know when I'll be reading it, but knowing myself, I always read Elsie Silver books whether or not they're in my TBR, and so I'll probably read it in June anyways, even if it doesn't end up in the TBR card. But I'm hoping Flawless will compensate a little for Wild Love and Hopeless, but I don't know. Wild Love, however, was not my cup of tea. It was not the greatest thing ever, and parts of me do wish I had DNF'd a little, but I did not. I carried through. I was brave. My dog and I both stare at the same spot sometimes, and it scares the fuck out of my partner. I could not. So glad you're sprinting again. Only hung out for 3 hours last night before tapping out because of sleepiness. Ready for round 2. Reading Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I've been in a severe reading slump, so hopefully this is fun and gets me out. I've been hearing the most wonderful things about it, so hopefully it does the trick. Reading The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I was in need of sprints, so thank you. You're very welcome. And I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. So fun. I'm going to be reading Powerless. Also, I'm on a summer internship in France. Congratulations. That's very exciting. Why am I nervous to continue the Final Empire? I feel like to an extent maybe you should, because it's going to be an ending, but it'll definitely be worth it. It'll be worth every single second. My dog is being babysat by his least favorite human. Poor soul. Oh no. I'll be trying to finish my book club book today, and then finding my heating pad. I was going to say finishing my heating pad, and clearly it came out as how long? I was gonna read The Cramps Are Cramping, and then I read Zoe's comment, and my brain just absolutely went in different directions. How long are we sprinting tonight? For a while, because I low-key want to finish this today, and so potentially, I'm not making promises, but potentially till I finish this. You didn't hear that, but you might have heard that, so hopefully we can do that. I'll be trying to finish. I already read that one. I've always wanted to catch one of your lives. Hello, Melissa. Hello from Scotland. I need this reading push tonight. Hopefully it does the trick for you and we're able to read some. Happy to catch you live. Hello, Tara. Hello, Alyssa. For me, with Anna Huang's books, I always wait till the new book to be released to finish the previous one. I always stop reading midway through when the couple gets together. See, for me, I read Twisted Love and I hated it. So that's my problem. I'm scared, but I've heard such great things about that next series, so like the King of Pride, King of Sloth, the Millionaires. Is it like the Millionaire series? I don't even know what it's called, but whatever that series is called, I've heard much better things about that one than the Twisted series, even though it maybe in ways is not as popular. So I don't know. I'm scared. But I really want to read King of Pride because it looks and sounds very good. I was going to read Flawless this weekend, and then my Livy hold for Shadow of the Gods came in. Hell yeah. And no, that's what I am. And no, that's what I'm going to read after I finish. Oh, now that's what I'm going to read after I finish the guest list. I got you. Just got out of a slump, so happy to finish. Powerful. Hell yeah. Just got a new book called If Only He Had Been With Me, and I'm so excited to read it once I'm done with the Twisted series. That's a very sad book. I am sending you all of the good vibes for the emotional recouping we're gonna have to do afterwards. I haven't read it myself, but I've heard it's extremely sad. I just finished Anna O, currently reading The Night Circus, currently reading Praise. Very good, very good. I love that. Just woke up and remembered you were going live a bit early here, so I might dose in the first sprint. Yep, 6:31 a.m. here, so very early. Great to catch you all live again. Welcome, welcome. And if we need to dose off, completely understandable. We'll be here for a while. I was not a fan of Twisted Love either. The writing style was not my cup of tea. Yeah, it was interesting. It was it was a romance book that turned into a telenovela, into like a mystery, it was just so weird. It was so weird. I do have Twisted Games digitally because I do not dare buy it physically because I'm scared I'm not gonna like it and spend the money on nothing. But I do own it digitally, and I'm hoping I like it because I've heard that Reese and I don't know what the girl's name is, but I've heard that they're really great. So hopefully they are, because I want to enjoy the books. Ideally, I want to be one of the girlies that's like, oh my god, the bodyguard. Also, the bodyguard romance is hot. Like, I love that. I love that dynamic. But will it be good? Will it be bad? I will find out eventually. I've owned it for a while too, but I'm just too scared. I'm too chicken to read it. I hated Twisted Love, but I heard if you love hate sex to read Twisted Hate. Twisted Games was good. Twisted Games is the one with the bodyguard, right? I think that's the one I own. Twisted Hate, which number is that? Is that the last one? I don't even know which order these books go in. I hated Twisted Love too. Was it supposed to be romantic? Allegedly. I didn't see it. Reading Magnolia Parks, Into the Dark. Godspeed to you. I bet that's emotional. Can't say I'm in a book slump, but I'm currently struggling finding a book I genuinely am excited to read. I think that's totally fair. I go through those periods every few months, but hopefully you're able to find something. And if you ever need help picking out something, let the chat know. We can help out. It was Rose. I didn't get that vibe. The guy was something. Currently reading Divine Rivals. Hopefully I'll finish it today. Thoughts on Bridgerton Season 3. I talk about it a little bit more in depth in the video that's going up in a few days. But it's okay so far. It's not my favorite by any means. I am afraid of what's gonna go down in part 2 just because there's a lot of the book that they haven't included yet. And I don't mean in terms of events, because like obviously the series of events will change because so much of the show is different. But I think in terms of character personalities, characters like flaws and character development, we haven't seen that a whole lot yet. And so I'm curious to see how they're going to include that and what's going to happen with the third act conflict and then a bunch of the events that happen in the second half of the book. I'm like, we haven't even gotten to any of that. It's a lot to handle in 4 episodes. So I'm a little bit scared to see how they're going to handle it. I also have a little bit of qualms with the lack of chemistry. Like, the chemistry was there, but it was also lacking in some scenes. And so I have qualms with that. And I have qualms with how the progression of events went down, because I just feel like we were jumping from thing to thing, that it didn't allow us to simmer on pollen as much as I think the show needs. And so there's that. It was okay. I just wish it was a little bit better. But I did freak out the entire time because I was excited. And I can't wait for part 2. I'm going to continue Her Majesty's Royal Covenant. It started really good, but now I'm not so sure anymore. Hopefully it gets better. Hello. What are some of your favorite animes or mangas, and who are your favorite characters? Well, I'm not going to get into it in depth because we'll be here forever, and I don't nearly have enough time for that. But as far as favorite animes, I haven't watched a whole lot of them. I think a top spot for me is definitely Death Note. I think following that, or probably, I don't even know which order I'd put them in, but Spy Family is also up there. I'm like really basic when it comes to them. I tried to get into Monster a few years ago, and then I figured out like the twist pretty early on, and I was like, okay, like I don't know about that, but I definitely want to get back into Monster because my brother really loves it, and he's been like, hey, you have to consume it, watch it, read it, do all of the things. Mangas, I would definitely say obviously Spy Family is a given. Tokyo Ghoul I really love. Oh my god, Blood on the Tracks is also a favorite. And oh, A Man and His Cat recently is another favorite of mine, manga wise. And what else have I read? I'm trying to think, but I feel like those are some top 4 for me. The Twisted Game is the one with the bodyguard, and oh my gosh, I am in love. But the age difference of the princess and the bodyguard is crazy. Wait, is it? What's the age gap? I've got so many questions. I just want to see the mirror scene in the second half of the season. Not gonna lie, same, because we don't get it in the book, and so I wanna see, because the book is just like, and there was a mirror involved, and I'm like, okay, and tell me more. Tell me more. I'm very greedy, so give me more. Book Colin definitely has some serious anger issues. No, for real though. And I'm glad that that's not part of the show, because I probably would have been like really pissy over it. But I think I want to see more of, and I'm sure we're going to see more of it, obviously, once like the reveal of like Lady Whistledown like happens for Paulin. But I think I definitely want to see all of those feelings of like jealousy and inadequacy that happen in the book, because so far in the show we really haven't seen like Colin's fault in his own insecurity of like, oh, what am I supposed to do with my life? Like everybody in my life has kind of figured out what they do, and yet here I am not knowing and feeling very inadequate in the things that I am very skilled at. And I really liked that about the book. I think it gave the characters obviously more depth. And it really does taint a lot of like his relationship with Penelope. So I wonder how much of that we're going to see in the show, because so far, I mean, we only saw the journal scene, which is taken from the book, which then in turn makes me think we are going to see that specific plot line with the characters' personalities. But I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. Love Penelope down, but the season just isn't giving for me. They can never make me like Colin. Yeah, there's just like something. I was talking about this with a friend. I feel like they displayed more chemistry in interviews and in the trailer, but then the show itself, like, it doesn't give me the same vibe and the same energy. I don't know if maybe I just hyped it up too much in my head that by the time I got what I got, I was like slightly disappointed. So I don't know. We'll figure it out the more we go along. I have been reading book 1 the last few days, but have sped through the last 200 pages this evening. Lots of love from Bridgerton. I'm waiting to watch until the second part comes out. I think that's fair. Hello, Pamela. I decided to skip the new moon movie night to get chores done around the house so that I could sprint all afternoon and night. That's a good plan. That's a very successful plan indeed. Have you read A Number in the Ashes? I DNF'd A Number in the Ashes. The guy in Twisted Love gave me the ick, so I DNF'd it, but all the other ones are so good. I wish they hadn't put Francesca's story in with Collins, because so much does happen to Francesca in her own story, and it's a bit early for her in the series. See, I feel like it's the perfect time to introduce that, though, because if you know then what Francesca's book is about, it is necessary for us to see this now before we get into her season later on. And so if not now, then when would be the question, because it does need to happen in somebody else's season, because I believe she meets John in Benedict's book, no? And I haven't read any of the books. I do know some of the timeline though. And so I do think she meets John like during like what's it called, Benedict's book, and that whole thing happens at the same time, and then we get the next plot line in that whole aspect in Colin's book, and then we obviously like go from there up until we get to hers, and the rest is kind of history. But yeah, I feel like we need to kind of see that right now, because we don't, again, otherwise where? My best friend has the audacity to move to Spain for uni in September. Not book dates by myself, it is. Listen, I think it's a beautiful thing to find time to take yourself out on dates and enjoy time alone. I get that at the beginning it can be very uncomfortable, but I think there's a beauty in that. I personally really love it. Hello, Delisa, especially since they've done Colin's story before his brother's book. That is fair, but I still think we need to get Francesca's storyline like right now. And I also agree that her storyline is legit my favorite thing this season. I think she is stealing the show for me, honestly. And I think the neurodivergent rep in regards to Francesca specifically, it's just like so beautiful. I literally cried watching the Francesca bits when we were watching it together on Patreon. It just made me so emotional to kind of see, you know, a romance play out like that on screen. And so I personally really love it. So I will be a Francesca apologist till the day I die, because the way that they're handling all that so far is breaking my soul and mending my soul all at the same time. Bridgerton changed showrunners this season. Oh, I didn't know that. So I think they have some kinks to work out. That would make a lot of sense, honestly. I feel like Colin and Penelope's story is going to continue into season 4. It can't possibly. I can't imagine that it would. But I think Penelope and Colin's season was like a specifically like kinky one to work out, because if you've read Romancing Mr. Bridgerton happens 10 years after the Duke and I, and so there's like loads of things that happen in those 10 years. There's obviously a lot of maturing that has happened in like the 10 years, and a lot of things that have kind of, you know, happened that manifest then into the characters, like, you know, like I guess like misbeliefs of the world. And so I feel like we are hindering a bit of the experience by not allowing that to be the case, but obviously just because of like, you know, show times and, you know, characters and actors' ages, we can't really like wait obviously that long. But yeah, it's an interesting season. I like it, but it's definitely not my favorite. I think nothing will top season 2. We'll see what happens. Hello, Katie. Excited to read for a bit. Just came from Liv Sprints. I'm reading Funny Story by Emily Henry. I hope you're really enjoying it, and I hope Liv Sprints have been a great time. I also believe books 4 and 5 happen at the same time. Yeah, I think so. I think, isn't it Eloise, Colin, and Benedict's books like all happen around like the same time somewhat? I'm pretty sure I've been told that. I don't know. I haven't read all of them, so I wouldn't be able to tell with any certainty. But I do think there's like loads of overlap between all of those books. Francesca's story with John needs to run in the background in order to not bog down her season. Yep, I agree with that. I think that's the issue. She's stealing the show, and we haven't yet seen the depth of Colin and Penelope's story. I hope their story gets stronger in the second part. I agree with that. I definitely hope that that's the case, because so far it's just been but I appreciate Francesca, and I love Francesca, so so I hope to see how that pans out into part 2. But this season, I've been seeing people say online that this season feels like a bunch of different like side quests. And it really does, though. Like, it's so scattered, which I definitely don't think helps at all in the pacing of the story or how the pacing feels. So it's definitely a little bit all over the place. I also love how I was going to say Hyacinth. Hyacinth always knows the spill tea. I love that we're getting to see more of Gregory's and Hyacinth's personality this season. I think it's been really, really good to see that. Hello, Finn. Finishing up my laundry and then sitting down for homework and a little bit of reading. I think I'm loving the side plots of the season more than Colin and Penelope. I have to agree with that as well. I think the show relied so heavily on their friendship already built upon in past seasons, when really we barely got into their relationship dynamic at all, which is the same fault in the book. The book is like, oh my god, like, we've been friends, and I'm like, you're friends by proxy, though. Like, you're friends because you're friends with Eloise, but it's not that you're friends, you're friendly, which is different. And in the show, I think they do a better job at making sure to convey that they are friends individual to Eloise, but we haven't seen that nearly enough, because I feel in past seasons, the only context in which we have seen Colin and Penelope interact is Colin thirsting over Marina, and then Penelope being like, but what about me? Like, I'm here. And then Penelope just being hopeful that he'll go, I like you, let's dance. And that not happening, or that happening in like some other semblance. And so, yeah, I feel like we haven't seen that nearly enough, but it's also that way in the book. So it's just frustrating all around. I so thought I was the only one that felt annoyed that they skipped Benedict's season. He's my fave. I feel like everybody's annoyed at that. I don't particularly like care in which order they do the seasons, but I definitely think maybe we would have been able to like season things a little bit more if Benedict's season had gone down first. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Benedict's season was pushed back, because allegedly, I haven't read the book, but based on what I've heard, it seems like there is a lot to figure out in terms of Benedict, because his plotline, it's like, he's like very like High Lord and like, I'm all this, and then he ends up like falling in love with a maid, and then like, that's a whole thing in the story. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they're working around the kinks of what that's gonna look like and how much of that they're going to change in the show. And especially if they've changed showrunners, I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to do Pauline first to work out the kinks before they get into Benedict's season, before they mishandle anything, because based on what everybody is saying, it does seem like they are going to cast a black actress for Sophie. And so there definitely seems to be like, again, some sort of working out in that sense, because I've heard that his book is rough in many ways, and so we'll see what happens with that when we do get there. Did I miss the first sprint? No. Please say no. No. We've just been chatting, so you're good. You know I'm a chatter, so I'm a little chatterbox. So we've been here for 41 minutes just talking. Also, hi everyone. I'm reading an arc called The Plus One. It's a thriller. Hopefully it's been going really good. Thanks for the welcome, but I do have to leave sadly to study. Hopefully the studying goes really, really well. I loved Theo and Eloise's chemistry in season 2 so much. I wish they explored that a bit more this season. See, my friend has been telling me consistently, and I really don't disagree, because I think that would be amazing. We basically have been talking about how if they switched around Eloise's and Benedict's partners, it would be so good. Eloise, because of the way that she acts in the show and a lot of her beliefs, it would be so good to see Eloise fall in love with either, you know, somebody like Theo, who is like somebody of lower social status, somebody who is a working man, somebody who isn't a lord or a lady, or somebody who like isn't of royal status. That would be amazing. And then have Benedict in turn end up with like a little MILF. And I mean, we've been seeing like inklings of it this season, and I'm like, let Benedict end up with a MILF, a single mom, just like, you know, somebody who's, you know, maybe older, more seasoned. I feel like that would be really cool, and it would align more with their own versions of the characters in the show. So I don't know, but we'll see what they do, because I'm honestly really curious to see like what they're going to change in Benedict's book in the show, because everything's leading up to the idea that that is going to be season 4, and I feel like people would be very mad if it was in season 4, but again, it should all be revealed with time. Without the 10-year time jump, it also feels like we're lacking some of Colin's desire for Penelope. Yes, there was something special about her being both plus size and a spinster, and him still desiring her. Yes. Did you say you liked Supernatural? I watched 6 seasons of it. I can't say I'm particularly like a super fan. It was enjoyable. It was good background noise. Mainly watched it because one of my friends is like obsessed with Supernatural, but I definitely stopped after season 7 and I never went back. So I can't say that I loved it, but it was a good time. It was a good time to watch it with her because like she was so joyful over it. But for me personally, like nothing I'm heavily interested in. Colin's sudden desire for Penelope felt a bit rushed for me, and it's the exact same way in the book, baby. The hard switch from okay, she's kind of interesting. Oh, is that how Penelope's always looked like, to marry me? I'm like, whoa. First of all, good morning. How are we doing today? From my understanding, Benedict and Gregory's books are the messiest. Yeah, I have heard that too. And like Gregory ends up having like a million babies too. So it's a lot. I didn't feel annoyed that Benedict was pushed back because they didn't work out his side plot as much as Pauline's were in past seasons. I like how I came back from switching out clothes to everybody talking about Bridgerton. I'd love to get a hold of the books before going off to year 2 of college in mid-August. Hopefully you can. Honestly, like the books are so old that I think you can get them like at basically every thrift store, like used bookstore at this point, without having to pay full price, which I think would be amazing. We love you, #real. Yeah, per representation. I do try very hard. Let's sprint. What if I say no, Alex? Benedict bothered me in the book, but I love the Benedict actor so much. I do hope they get him right. I'd love to see Kate's sister and the possible romance with the prince suggested by the queen at the end of the second season. I know a lot of people didn't like Edwina. I personally really loved Edwina, and I think seeing either a season or like a separate show or what have you, where it's a lot about Edwina in relation to the queen, in relation to what's his name, Prince Frederick. I feel like that was his name. I feel like that would be really cool for a season of something. I feel like I would really enjoy that. And I don't think Ben will be the next season. Will be the Ben? Who's Ben? Oh, Benedict. I was like, who's Ben? You've just seen my brain at work. I think they're doing Francie or Eloise next to be a woman next instead of another brother. That I think would make sense if they're trying to like alternate it, but I feel like Eloise would have to happen first, because I feel like the sudden jump from like season 3 Francesca to suddenly Francesca's storyline, it would be wild. So I feel like probably Eloise, but I can't imagine them not doing Benedict next season. You're so right about Benedict and Eloise's partner switching. Listen, shout out to my friend, because she's the one that's been bringing it up, and I'm like, that is so good though. Like that is such a good thought, I think. And Benedict would be the person to absolutely worship a widow, or like a MILF, if we will, or like somebody who's a single mom. I feel like he would really thrive in that scenario. Everything little Anthony wanted to do in his season, well, not his season, but I guess like Daphne's season, with like providing for like somebody else and being like I feel like Benedict would be up for all of that. And so I feel like it would be cool to see that, and it would make, again, a lot of sense with like the characters' personalities in the show. So we'll see, but I don't think they're gonna do it. Getting FOMO because I've never watched Bridgerton. Listen, it's a good time. It definitely has its kinks, a lot less kinks than in the books, but still enough kinks, but it's still a good time, I'd say. I'm a little frustrated with everyone sexualizing Eloise and Cressida because it's overshadowing their character growth, but if played out right, it could be a very enjoyable storyline. See, I've always been of the thought that Eloise was a queer. In fact, when I started watching the show, I was like, oh, Eloise is like totally into Penelope, right? That's what I thought when we were starting out the series, because it definitely kind of screamed that. And then the more I knew about the books, I was like, oh, so that's not it at all. Okay, got you. But I definitely do think that them together as friends, it's so funny because I didn't think I would be saying, like, I don't hate it, but I low-key don't. Like, there are definitely things I dislike about these two being friends, but I think it's a really good, like, growth opportunity, specifically for Eloise. The fact that she got told by Cressida, I can't say too much because there's people who haven't watched it. I love that I was like, I'm not gonna go in depth. Been talking about it for like 20 fucking minutes. You guys need to stop me. You guys, it's like you grab me and I'm like the little monkey that you give, like you turn the cord and I'm like, that you guys can't ask me questions because I won't stop. Like I will hyperfixate. But the fact that she got told by Cressida, I'm like, give me more of that, because Eloise needs to be told a little bit more. I was talking about it in the watch party on Patreon. I am an Eloise hater, so if you're looking for Eloise sympathy, you're not gonna get it here. So I liked that she was told by Cressida. I'm not done with part 1, but to be honest, I was convinced they were gonna rush Francesca into something this season. They already decided whose time it is to shine in the next season. See, I don't know. It's like everything's like so scattered. Like I want it to be Benedict because I think that would be really cool to see. It can't possibly be Francesca. I would be so mad if it was Francesca. Switching the love interest is now what I want, but I don't know if they'll do it. I don't think they will, but I am hyperfixating on it too because I feel like it's a genius idea, to be honest. I really wish either Eloise or Benedict were queer. I agree with that. I feel like, I mean, I think did kind of tease like Benedict being a little bi, maybe, but I don't know if that's like canon. But at least with Eloise, like I have always thought she was into the girly pops, and so I was like, Eloise, what's up? Welcome to the club, girl, what's up? But apparently not. But I think that would be cool, personally speaking. I always thought both Eloise and Benedict were queer. Kind of disappointed they aren't exploring it more. I would have loved Eloise to be for the girls, but please not with Cressida. Like, I get the gays are starved, but we are hallucinating chemistry for real. Yeah, I wouldn't want that either if that was the path they were taking in terms of like, oh, Eloise is queer, because that's a huge slap on the face for Penelope and like that alleged friendship. But I would love for her to be queer. I think that would be really cool. When I saw the notification of your sprints, I got so excited. It's been a while since I joined one of these. Hello, Manya. Let's start a petition for them to switch partners. I think people would sign up. I think they would. I think the people would jump on the train. Also, let me switch to the sprint setup, because if not, we're never going to sprint. Please hold. I love that I wanted to start early so that we could start sprinting right away. And I've been chatting for the hour early that I started in. It's fine. It gives us a little bit of a head start, but I've been talking for too long. Let's see. That's what I thought of Penelope and Eloise too, until Penelope pretty much vented to Eloise about dudes she likes, especially of the Bridgerton brothers she liked. I agree with that. They teased it in the first season and never spoke of it again. Thank you. In the books, Eloise and Benedict aren't queer, so I hope they don't mess the books by doing that. See, I don't mind the changes. I think it'd be really cool if they made them queer, especially because the show definitely wants to like have a lot of rep in many different aspects, and that is definitely an aspect that we are missing. And honestly, the books are so bad that I think it would elevate the story if they did do that. So I would love that. Even if they don't end up like, if, you know, for example, if like Benedict were like queer and he were bi, even if he does end up with a girl, like as long as we do have like some semblance of exploration in his queerness, I think that would be really fun. But honestly, I don't feel like there could be anything they do in the show to ruin the books, because the bar is in hell. And I say that with my entire chest. I will say that very strongly. I've been playing your stream in the background while I read, getting a little head start. Love the chatty chat. Hello, Nicole. I don't understand in Bridgerton how they can make real life songs sound classical. Listen, anything can be sound. Anything can be made into classical if you try hard enough. If you got a good violin and some good instruments, anything can happen. The Dynamite by BTS classical version made me scream. It's the way I jumped when I heard that, and it was such a short snippet too, in comparison to the other ones. I wanted more Dynamite classical version. That was too funny. This show is so unserious sometimes. I'm like... I love it a lot. Bridgerton books are honestly a vague outline since those books are not it. I'm telling you, it's like they're so outdated, so heteronormative. I'm like, maybe we can include a thing or two for the guys too. It's fine. I would love it myself personally. And so I am of the thought that the bar is in hell. And so anything they do will probably raise that bar. Queen Charlotte's season will always be my favorite one. I think that's fair. We need a classical version of Britney Spears in the show, please. That would be so fun. Didn't they tease that there would be one this season? Am I crazy? I feel like I could be. Anyways, let us get into I would take a classical version of WAP. I could not. Okay, anyways, I'll see you guys. It's the WAP one really took me out. I'm gonna see you guys in an hour. Happy productivity, happy sprinting. Love you all the most. And I hope you get your WAP, Flora. You're not going to see me on camera for the next few minutes, but it's because I'm going to go and I'm going to cook. So I'll be back in a few minutes, but the timer will be running and I'll be back. All right, hello, welcome back. I was finishing my page. I read a chapter and a half. Very, very important reading has ensued. I was cooking more than anything. Food is almost done, which is fantastic. So I'll be eating at the start of the next sprint, which is everything, because I'm starting to get really hungry, and it's also 5 p.m. So I'd love to eat as soon as possible. And I also need to go downstairs to fetch my medication. I haven't done that yet, but I need to do that. So how did everyone do? I just finished episode 4 of Maxton Hall, and I am shook. Sounds about right. Finished my book. Now going, doing my bookshelf because and the wheel just broke. Yes, I just broke. Sentences I cannot compute. I read the first 18 pages of Answering Liberty's Call and exactly 20 pages of Mount Vernon Love Story. Don't know how I read almost 40 pages in almost an hour, but I hope to join the next live stream. I always love seeing you guys be so productive. It's a great time. Hello, Ashley and Manya. I am reading the sequel to One Dark Window, Twist Twisted Crowns, and loving it. Hello, I just finished studying one whole chapter, and I am so happy. This live stream motivated me so much. 17% of the guest list. Will definitely finish it in the next sprint. Absolutely love that. Read 38 pages of a nonfiction, 73% of the way through. What did you cook? I made some sweet potatoes and broccoli in the oven, and also some salmon. So that's all finishing its cooking time, because I just shoved everything in a single pan and just threw it in there. So it needs about like 10 more minutes probably, so it won't be too bad. It'll definitely give me time to finish the chatting portion and then go downstairs to fetch my medication and then come back, plate it all, sit down and eat while I get some reading done, which will be amazing. Olis Fatima had a successful book shopping trip, and I'm now home making dinner. We'll read after I finish dinner. Also, that Bridgerton tea I bought smells and tastes divine. Hell yeah, I love that. Read 46 pages. Read the first 45 pages of Death Around the Bend. Just read and took notes on one chapter of my textbook and got some of my homework started. Made Korean ramen with chicken broth. Mom and I are not feeling our best. Ooh, are you guys feeling sick? I hope that the ramen was absolutely everything. It was yummy. It was delicious, and that it made the belly feel good. Rereading Jade War. Started a new book today, Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors. I'm at 8% in my Kindle. Had to grab some food, so it slowed my progress down. I read a couple of chapters, and I am getting ready to make some dinner. I love that you guys are having dinner, and I'm sitting down to have lunch in the next sprint. I read a couple of chapters and I am getting ready to make some. I love that I just read that exact same comment. Anyways, read 48 pages of Saving Six. I have about 100 pages left to finish. Read 36 pages and watched TikTok. Read a whole 65 of A Torch Against the Night. Happy to say the need to watch anime has dwindled. Absolutely love that. Read a few pages and I'm now making tacos. That sounds really good. Read 22 pages of The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband by Julia Quinn. This is the first stream I've managed to catch. Hello, Ellis. I'm currently on the second book in the Darker Shade of Magic series, having a wonderful time. I have, if I can find the comment, had leftover Chinese and read 50 pages of Blood of Assassins. I just joined, but hopefully we'll get to read Thoughtless throughout the next sprint. I'm on chapter 7 of The Crown of Oaths and Curses. No reading, but I started on my June Bujo spreads. Just finished the show I watch every Saturday with my family. Hopefully the episode was good. Next sprint will be more of Billy Summers. I'm almost done with Psalm for the Wild Build. Now I must find a new book. Took a shower, did my nightly skincare routine and a face mask, and put away laundry while I listen to the audiobook before we say goodbye. Sweet potatoes have no business taking that long to cook. You already know, Jez. It is the bane of my existence. Like, they're so yummy, but they genuinely take so long, which is why I always have to like chop it in the tiniest of pieces, because otherwise I'll be waiting for the sweet potatoes to cook for like 3 hours. Learned that during the pandemic, because that was the very first time I was cooking sweet potato at home. I didn't realize it took so long, so I always started cooking about an hour before like our typical like, you know, dinner or lunchtime. And by the time it was like an hour in, I was like, dude, these are not even halfway tender. What is this? And so I had to learn the hard way how to cook sweet potatoes, because my mom had also never cooked them. So she was like, why is it taking so long? And I thought at first it was the oven, but then I just discovered, no, it's just sweet potato in general. It's so hard in comparison to regular potatoes, but it's worth it. In the end, it's really good. I'm now on page 271 of Red Queen. I read 2 pages of the 4th Zodiac Academy book until my baby woke up and needed entertainment. Yes, Zodiac Academy is my guilty pleasure, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Listen, it shouldn't even have to be a guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure. You just enjoy it. I totally lost my spot. Let me find where I was at. Read 31 pages of The Future, reading All System Red from the Murderbot series. So much sci-fi mystery we love. I read about 18 pages and nodded off a bit. Finally getting around to applying for summer jobs. Hopefully we find something very soon, and hopefully it's a good one. Read 12% of my arc this sprint, 70% into after. I'm probably the only one who hasn't read this. I'm eating up this toxicity. Also cut up some fruit for my reading snack, so very productive hour. Was watching one of your previous videos and ordered Ace of Spades. Oh, hell yeah, I hope you love it. Didn't get far, 10 pages or so, but I blame my toddler. Read 60 pages of Eldest, and so glad to be back in Aragon's POV. Listened to 46 pages of Radio Silence. I finished Tempest of Tea this morning, and I desperately need the sequel. Like right now. Thank you. I read the chapter 3 in The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi during that sprint. I read about 30 pages of 5 Broken Blades. Up until now, there were 4 different POVs. I believe there is 6 total. 6 POVs is wild. That's a lot. That's like middle grade status of like many POVs. That's crazy. I also just lost my spot again. Hold up as I find my spot. Currently making lunch and listening to Kingdom of the Curse. Read 10% of The Familiar. Drinking tea for my sore throat. That will ensue after I eat. Tea is always great because I definitely felt the need and the want to cough several times, and I think I actually did during that sprint. So we need to soothe the throat, and we also just need more water because it's empty. Also, it's smelling so good in here. I am so hungry. 11% of Accidental Witness should finish in the next few sprints. I love that Preston walked in with a friendly reminder to drink some water. This is the water reminder. I wish I had some, but empty. What time is it where you're at? It's 5:05. The last time I cooked a sweet potato, I chopped them small and they came out of the oven dry, burnt black and shriveled. Oh no, I let the professionals handle them now. The ADHD doesn't allow it. See, the trick is always to put like drizzle them in a little bit of olive oil so that it has like some moisture going back to it, and just, you know, let them sit there for a while. And you do have to like stir every like, I'd say 15 minutes or so. But yeah, sweet potato is... The first time I cooked it definitely came out a little bit burnt because I had to wait so long for them to get done that at some point I was like, I'm just going to let them cook. I'm not even going to put a timer anymore. Like, that'll be done when it needs to be done. And we'll get there eventually. And I certainly did burn them a little bit. And some of them did crisp up a lot. So it was more crunchy than it was like a softer texture. Again, it took a while to learn how to make sweet potato, which you wouldn't exactly guess because it sounds like so counterintuitive, but it is counterintuitive. What Pomodoro do you use? This is Life at, so that's the one I'm using right now, though I also really love to use Study With Me. Either of those are personal favorites. Hello, Mackie just joined. Going to be reading Twilight Falls. Read a few pages of Powerful, but then realized I remembered nothing of Powerless, so I had to watch a summary video. Jefa, ¿hasta qué hora estamos aquí hoy? Hasta que... No sé. I was gonna say hasta que nos caigamos del sueño, but that's probably a lie. I don't know. We're gonna be here for a while. I definitely want to try and finish What the River Knows today. That won't happen though up until I properly eat, and so the next sprint is probably gonna be spent into me mostly reading. I totally just threw the book onto my keyboard. So we're probably gonna be here for a handful more hours. Honestly, I'm here for a good time. Again, as long as everybody behaves and we've all got energy, I am here. For sure. I'm about 100 pages away from finishing Tomorrow Times 3 and I'm not okay. What the fuck did just happen? I don't know. You tell me. Not cook until you smell burning. No, that's terrible. Listen, we have to stay on top of it. It's funny because the idea of cooking in an oven is that you don't have to look at it so often, but you kind of do still, because it can go, it's like, it's that minute, that extra minute can fuck up everything. It's the same thing in the stove, but I'm like, you give it an extra minute, you come back, it's suddenly burnt. It's not a great time. So you definitely have to like stay on top of it. which is annoying, but at least it's the one pan meals are the ones that I love, because I just have to wash a single thing and I just don't have to worry about anything else. Though I guess this is like a little Pyrex rather than a pan, but still, same concept. Me voy a dormir, que son las 12 aquí en España. Buenas noches, Ana. I have 120 pages until, I'm done with the fake mate, and I'm determined to finish it during sprints. Hopefully so, because it's a really good one. Had to share ramen with one of the cats. Oh no. Hopefully it settles well with the cat. Long sprints are my favorites. I need the motivation. Me too. Gotta get that air fryer. Listen, I do have an air fryer, but surprisingly, I never cook in the air fryer unless I'm making like fries or chicken nuggets, or I'm making hash browns, or I'm making chorizo. Like, I don't know why. I never cook protein in there unless it's like chicken on the bone. If it's chicken on the bone or if it's chicken wings, I typically do toss those in the air fryer, but I rarely use air fryer for like fish, which I feel like I probably should, because it seems like the go-to a lot of people have been using, and yet I've never done it. I thought about it today for the salmon, but I was like, if I'm gonna like dirty up this specific pan, might as well just throw everything in there instead of dirtying the air fryer too. But I feel like I need to get into it, because that would probably make my life a lot easier. Just joining, but I'm hoping to finish Lucky Charm. Sweet potato is so quick in the air fryer too. I'm gonna have to try that out next time, because I don't know that I've ever tossed sweet potato in there, at least not like the non-frozen kind, like the fresh sweet potato. I've never done that. My uncle's cat used to refuse to drink water unless it was in a wine glass. You've heard of a wine mom? How about a wine cat? Never heard of that one. That's news to me. If I can finish these last 135 pages today of A Tempest of Tea, I am starting Magnolia Parks. I think A Tempest of Tea is really easy to read, so I don't think it's impossible. Salmon in the air fryer is superior. That's what I've heard. I did think about doing that today, but again, I didn't want to dirty both things and have to wash those after. But next time I make salmon, I'm doing it in the air fryer, because it does look really good, like the crispy. Oh my god, love that. My timer just went off. I'm so sorry. That probably spooked you guys equally as it spooked me. Probably more because you didn't realize I had a timer for my food. I'm gonna go check on that. And I'll be back in an hour. I use the air fryer for literally everything. Such a game changer. Listen, I'm gonna be forced to try that, because we're going to run gas tests in my building at the beginning of June. So I'm going to be heavily relying on my air fryer to do just about everything, because what else? What other way is there to cook? I will meal prep, but for most things, I will be using the air fryer that week. So I'm going to have to get acquainted with it real good in just about a week and a half. So I'll be there. I will surely be there. Anyways, I will see you guys in an hour. I'm going to go check on the food, and for realsies now, go look for my meds, because I need to take them. I've been postponing taking my meds for all day. Sure, all day long. I'll see you guys in an hour.